I'm live in 1 minute. Okay. 11:30. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. All right. I'm going to mute everybody so it's easier that way.
She avoided that. She went from all the way around the block to avoid that question.
Yeah, someone's having a phone conversation. I can hear them in the background. So I was just going to go ahead and mute you guys and make sure that as people come on, I don't disrupt you guys or you don't hear their background noise if they're driving. So anyway, it's already 11:30 and hey guys. So I know it's tough to get on the phone in the middle of the day, but that's why we record these things, right? So we can play back. This call is going to be a summit recap for those of you who couldn't be there live and for those of you who could. Just kind of my take on things and maybe what to do next. I like to have a game plan moving forward because it's one thing to have that fire and that excitement, but then if you let it fizzle, then what's the point? It's just a fun little vacation that maybe gave you a little bit of spunk, but there's so much that can be learned from what happened this week and what we saw and what we heard that I don't want anybody to miss it. When I do post the recording of this call on our team page, I'm also going to post links to like Gary Vaynerchuk and the celebration. So if you don't know where to access those, you'll have the links there. But they were live. Celebration and the opening ceremonies were live, so you were able to watch and participate and learn all of the fun things that are coming up in the coming months. So Beachbody's really good at helping us with that. It's fun to see some of y'all's faces. It was fun to meet some of you guys in person this week, and we were joking because we do this business online, you know, we get to see each other face to face, but it's screen to screen. And it's funny when you finally meet for the first time in person, you immediately hug. You know them. You're like, hey, Jen, hey, Cammie, hey, Carrie. Like, and it's not even a weird thing because you've spent so much time encouraging, inspiring, mentoring, sharing with people that you just already know them. So I love that about this business, that people are comfortable enough to just come up and say, hey, like, we've been friends forever. What's the weird thing about that? I know we've never met, but here we are. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my Summit experience. And the thing about Summit is it needs to be yours. It needs to be your experience. Summit is a beast. And I use that term comically because it's a good beast, but it's a beast because it's not the time to get together and plan a lot of things because it's so jam-packed with activities, people going every which way, no one's staying at the same hotel. It's hard. And so if you go in with zero expectations, you're going to have the best time ever. But if you go in thinking, I'm going to do everything together and we're going to be in the same carpool and we're going to go to dinner and lunch, you're going to be very disappointed because Summit needs to be about you showing up and getting fed with the relationships, the energy, the information, the passion, and that's what Summit's about. Goodness, I've got my water right here. So let's get started. The thing about Summit is it always opens up with like this amazing opening ceremonies and fireworks and all sorts of, just pomp and circumstance and grandeur. And Beachbody does a really good job of highlighting the programs that are coming up, the different things that they've been working on, and it's exciting. So again, I'm going to post everything as far as the links to like Core de Force and Autumn Calabrese's new cooking show that's going to be using the Fixate with her brother, who is a private professional chef. And then I just blanked out what else was going on. So many things coming up. So you have the core, that's hard to say, right? Core de Force will be on sneak peek in our Beachbody On Demand. They said in October and it would be available in November, but then I saw Joel post something about it being available in December. So now I'm confused, but just know that there are sneak peeks coming so that you can try this program. And then we're going to be able to present it to our customers and our audiences the month after that. But then the cooking show and so many amazing, there was the TV show that we have for the next personal trainer, that's coming out. And then there's the 30-day yoga retreat, which you can do on Beachbody On Demand. So you can see that the movement here is to the mobile platform. If you didn't already get that, that was kind of in your face, right? We're doing a lot of things online so that people have more access to it. They're going to be able to unlock more as you go online and purchase these programs immediately from your Beachbody On Demand. I met the creator of Beachbody On Demand. It's his baby, and he wanted me to critique it. And I said one thing, and it was like I'd stabbed his dog or something. You know, he was just he was so proud of this platform. And I said, I'd really like to, on a DVD, be able to move forward in chapters. He goes, well, you can move forward every 30 seconds. And I said, yes, but what if I want to skip that section because I'm a lazy bum and I don't want to repeat it? And he was like, okay. I said, that's the only thing I would change. So well done. Just an amazing man and a former military named Bill. So, and he came from Hulu and has done some really amazing things. So you can see that Beachbody does a good job of front loading all of the things that are about to happen. And then I love what we've transitioned to. And Thursday and Friday are all about the breakout sessions. And then they're all about that general session that's in the Bridgestone Arena where you get to hear Gary Vaynerchuk, who is awesome. And again, I'm going to post that link. I'm not going to go through everything that was shared in every presentation because we could be here for hours. But just know that though the Shalene's presentation, Melanie Mitro's, Tracy Morrow, and then Gary Vaynerchuk were highlight performances or presentations for me. And so I'm going to make sure that I give you those links because those are where I took the most notes and really got a lot out of them. But I want to make sure that you take the time to listen to those because a lot of it was about being you, about being authentically you. And in the past, Beachbody spent a lot of time doing trainings and how to be a great coach and da-da-da-da. And last year, a lot of the top coaches got together. I was one of them who back in like January said, you know what I would like? I would like to go to a general session by someone who tells me something real, something true, something straight from the heart and not a training. Because we get that all the time. But what I really resonate with is stories. And I want to hear how someone overcame and someone grew through something and someone used their uniqueness to really inspire a lot of people. And it was funny because it seemed like a lot of people were on the same page. We're all about personal development. We want the things that matter in life. We want those relationships. We want our teams to grow deeper and not just hit a bunch of numbers just because that's the numbers game. And so it's really cool to see that Beachbody takes our suggestions and they run with them and they bring in speakers who are talking about you, presenting you in a way that nobody else can because it's you. And if you're not you, then the world is missing out on your unique talents and gifts. And so if anything, I hope that's what you guys got out of those of you who were there and those of you who listened. I hope that's what you got out of it is don't look around at what other people are doing. It's great to see success. It's great to see what someone else has achieved, but make sure that you understand the backstory because it's really easy to focus on the glitz and the glamour and the rank and the da-da-da, but you got to understand that that happened over 8 years or a failed marriage or whatever. There's not just a bunch of sparkle and high fives and smiles. There's a lot of growth that takes place. And something that I've used now twice, and I think it applies to a lot of areas in our businesses, our lives, whatever, is an analogy that Lindsay Matway shared. And it was about coaching. and new coaches. And I was like, gosh, I was so spot on. But think about it in so many areas of your life. When you have a child, and if you're not a mom yet, just go with me on this, because trust me, it happens. You take care of that baby really carefully, and you hold it, but at some point they have to walk, they have to crawl, they have to run, they have to fall. And it's a necessary part of their growth. I mean, I watched my daughter eat it, like face plant on the concrete because she's running too fast, right? And she was a little toddler just getting used to her legs, but she got back up. And maybe she listened to mommy the next time and she didn't run down that hill. And it's the same with new coaches. It's the same with anything new that we try, right? We've got to fall. And we don't just stay down, because what does that accomplish for us? Nothing. It's a necessary part of growth to wobble a little bit, to not know all the answers, to falter, to fall, and then to get back up and learn from it and grow through it, because you have to walk, right? The baby's not, the toddler's not just going to be like, well, that stunk, I guess I'll just crawl for the rest of my life. No, you have to get up. You have to learn to walk. And that is kind of maybe the thing that we miss as new coaches and as growing coaches, is the fall isn't the thing that defines you. It's when you get up and you keep going that really makes a difference. And it shows your character. It shows your resilience. It shows your focus. It shows that you're willing to move past that and keep going. And so, but it's necessary. We all have to go through those growing pains in every stage of life in order to get to the next step. I have a daughter who's going through the teen years, and that's really painful, but it's necessary. We don't just stick her in a box and open it in 3 years and hope that she did well. She's got to go through these growing pains, and I do too as her mom. I do too as the parent, to learn how to maybe appreciate her more, or learn how to get past something in my own life. And so it doesn't just stop with being a toddler or being a new coach. It's every phase of where we want to go. Now, a lot of the trainings at Summit are geared towards new coaches and emeralds. So it might seem to some maybe more seasoned coaches a little simplified, but that's very important, because we forget the basics. We forget what it was like to be a new coach. I know I do. I forget how hard it was to press send on that first invite, and how difficult it was when someone actually responded to know what to say. It is. It's really scary. And it's easy for me to look back and be like, oh, you got this. Just say bada, 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 bada. But goodness, it's more than that. I can't just brush it aside and think she'll be fine, because you won't. It takes trying a few things and being a little bold and saying things that maybe you weren't prepared to say, and growing through that. And so, a lot of aha moments at Summit this year. But one thing that I learned is that, and this is kind of a hard thing to share, is as a leader, I need to be more present. As a leader, I need to grow in certain areas that maybe I've pushed aside. And so I just want you guys to know, Summit is always a place where you learn, and it's a place where you're filled, and it's a place where you're inspired, and you come up with so many takeaways, and it never gets old. You're always learning something new. And so I'm coming away with what do I need to do to build that team culture that, we started out so strongly with? Because to go back to 3 years ago, when I was a 2-star coach, I started our page. I came up with the name Thrive, and it's morphed into Made to Thrive. And we're very close, very tight-knit. And that's important that we remember where we came from. I was a 2-star. I already had 2 leaders. One was already me, my husband, but we were growing together as leaders, because I'm a pretty new coach at this point. And so everything that I was learning, everybody else was learning right along with me, right? It's important to remember that you never get to a point where you're not learning. You never get to a point where you know it all. You're constantly learning. And so we shared everything. And that built such a strong team unity and team culture that we were sharing everything and sharing calls and sharing all that stuff. And along the way, we kind of branched off and leaders have formed their own teams. And you might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm okay with it. So there's my caveat. When I was driving home, and I will share this voice clip with everybody, I made a very raw, because it's 7 hours in the car, and I was still mulling over everything and crying and just going through a lot of emotions. And so I got my phone and I started just putting down my thoughts. And it dawned on me that if you look at a tree, which was the image I came up with when I first named the team Thrive, because I just had this image of a beautiful tree. And when your roots grow really deep, then your tree can really grow up and it produces fruit, flowers, buds, new limbs. It is thriving, right? Hello, there's our name. So I just had this picture of this gorgeous tree. I'm from the South, and so, magnolia trees are gorgeous and pine trees and the Spanish moss hanging from them. And I just love trees. So that was the image I came up with. But I started to think, if there's a branch that's dead and it's grown out and died, it's not really contributing to the tree, to the growth of the tree. And so as we branched off, we need to keep growing and contributing back to the main tree that gives it life, right? And so I go there in your mind with me. I'm not crazy and I'm not like all cuckoo tree hugger, but think about it. Our team is one big tree. I'm such a visual person. I'm trying to make a tree with my hand like a freak. Tree. I look challenged. So our whole team is this tree. The roots are you guys. It's how deep we grow. It's how many people we reach out to. And it's continuing to grow and grow and grow. And what we produce are the results, the transformation stories, the fruit, the blossoms, the blessings, the people being able to stay home with their kids, the replacing an income, the whatever is on your dream board that you should be looking at every day, your why, that's the fruit, that's the blossom, that's the growth, right? Okay, so if you have a limb that grows off, and then it doesn't give back to the larger tree, it's kind of dead. It's not participating, and eventually it's not going to be fed. It's not going to give anything back. So my grandpa, see, I'm good at rabbit trails. My grandfather was a carpenter, and he built my cousins and I this beautiful rope swing. Like the rope was probably this thick, I could trust it. And then he built a wooden circle, a paddle, and that was what he put on the rope and tied this huge knot at the bottom. We would jump off of our picnic bench that was in the backyard at my grandparents' house, and we would swing and do tricks and hang upside down, and another kid would jump on, and it was fun. And we would spend hours out there like going in circles and going crazy. I never, ever, ever doubted the strength of that limb. It was a strong, strong limb that I was putting my trust in. It was flourishing. It had green leaves. It had branches coming off of it. It had magnolia blossoms. So I knew it was producing. Now, there were other limbs that my grandpa could have chosen, but I wouldn't have put my trust in those because they were smaller. They were brittle. They weren't giving off any life. And so I want to make sure that as an entire team, we're those strong branches that are, the larger team feeds the whole thing. So if we're branching off and doing our own thing before it's time, and if we're not coming back to the larger team to invest in it, then we're missing a key part of this whole picture. It's not just you off doing your own thing, building your team and doing it your own way. It's us as a team growing together, because I want to tell you something. We all help one another. I don't know if you've looked at the business model. I don't know if you've looked at your genealogy. I don't know if you've really played with that. But what I do impacts you. What you do impacts your friend. We all do impacts one another. So if we're sitting here saying, hey guys, I really need you to be active, and then I'm not active, wow, that's hypocritical, right? Or if I'm saying, I really want to be a 2-star or a 5-star, or I want to do this, but you're not helping the other people around you do the same thing, then you're missing a part there. Or if you're harping on people to get active and maintain their rank, but you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you're not setting the example for your team. And so one big thing that I took away from this was that we've got to all participate together. We've all got to be a part of this larger picture, and we've all got to share the things that inspire us and come back to the larger page and not be scared to post, not be scared to ask questions, not be scared to step up and say, you know what, this is something I learned and I'd love to share this with the team. Do it. Do it. It's your team. It's the people that you work with and that help everybody grow stronger. I promise you. So I digress. I'm going to share that recording for you all. But that was on my heart leaving Summit. So many takeaways. Now, like I said, Summit is a beast, and you get to go to the core and you get to, buy cool clothes, or you leave your bag somewhere and somebody steals it and you'll never get your stuff back, which is what happened to me, whatever. So somebody out there is enjoying 4 boxes of Energized, Country Heat, and my awesome tank because it's gone. Yeah. Anyway, that's part of my Summit story. Just things. I'll take away the memories before I miss the things. I think the thing that meant the most to me was, and I did take some notes, so don't think I'm just decided to check my text messages. I wanted to share a couple things that were said. If you don't do you, you don't get done, and the world misses out. So, that was a quote that Tracy Morrow shared, and I really liked it. If you don't do you, you don't get done, and then the world misses out. So she was focusing on making sure that you share you, because if you don't, then somebody's going to miss out on your story and your message, and that would be such a shame. And I just love Tracy Morrow, period, but I really loved the talk that she gave and the examples that she shared. I'm going to share a couple other things that spoke out to me that, I went too far, from Melanie. Oh no, this is still from Tracy Morrow. She talked about getting real with yourself, not just being real with everybody else, but also taking time to really look at what you want to accomplish, because it's really easy to get wrapped up in what everybody else is doing and looking at the shiny things, like I said, and forgetting that you've got to first focus on what you need to accomplish before you can ever know what you want to accomplish and help in others. So what do your daily choices look like in your priorities, in your relationships, in your behaviors, and your attitudes? Are you showing up and you're really putting the important things first? And are you choosing certain relationships because they're going to sharpen you and they're going to challenge you? How are you spending your time is what I'm trying to say. And that was really important to me because I get frazzled really easily. And I will make lists and lists and lists. And then I get stuck on one thing for 4 hours. And I go back and I'm like, I've done nothing. That's amazing. You're completely ridiculous. And that's just me. In your behaviors, how are you treating other people? That's really important. And I don't mean that as always, how do you act towards others? I'm like, how do you allow other people to treat you? That's a big one. And that's something that I have a hard time with because I want everyone to be happy. But in doing that, am I making myself miserable? So think about that. And really, really going to get deep in the next couple of weeks, even working with someone who is a life coach and who's not going to sugarcoat, and is really going to point out some things in me that maybe I already know, and I just needed someone else to bring light to them and look at them in a different way. And if you have someone in your life who you can trust to do that, then maybe it's a good conversation to have. I reached out to my leaders, and I'm not asking all of them because some of them are more tactful than others. But as far as leadership goes, maybe you have someone that you can go to that knows you intimately, and you can say, I want you to tell me, how am I doing in this area? How am I really showing up for this? And see what they say. And take it and maybe, process it. But it's okay to reach out to people who love you and are going to speak to you in love. That's a part of that behavior. Are you reaching out to people and you're behaving the way that you think you are? Because something somebody said to me was, you have a really big heart. And I know you're really trying to get this message across, but that's maybe not the way it's being received. And so you need to change the way you're speaking. And I was like, that's interesting, because in my head, this is what I'm trying to relay to people, but in their ears, they're not hearing that. So that might be the reason that somebody's not responding the way that you want them to on your teams, in your life, whatever. And so in your behavior, then in your attitude, how are you treating other people? And what's your attitude about this business, this coaching thing? I don't think you can just like parts of it. You can disagree with me all you want. But I think if you're really going to be a part of something, be a consultant and be an ambassador for a company, then you need to be all in. Because if you're just toe in, you're not going to grow. You're not going to go anywhere. You've really got to be mentally and physically all in. I can't be like, I really like all the fitness programs, but I just don't really like anything else about the company. And that Carl guy really makes me crazy, and I don't like listening to him. And I really won't see the value in live events. You've missed some big parts there, because live events are where, I hate to say the word magic, but that's where the magic happens. And being around other people face to face, belly to belly, is where connections are made and where you really go deep with the people that have inspired you online, and the people that have really helped you, and the people that you've helped, and the people who just encourage you. And so I really want to make sure that we're getting the whole picture here, and making sure that, you understand the whole heart of the company. I was talking to someone who had gone through a lot. A lot. Her husband being a military special ops, and when he came home, he was really, really not himself. Their family was hurting, and they were going through a lot that she didn't feel comfortable sharing because it wasn't her story. She had to let her husband get to the point where he was willing to open up and share. And when he did, he made a video, and I haven't seen it, that went viral. And it was raw. It was probably very hard to watch and listen to for a lot of people. And his wife didn't know what he was going to say because he hadn't shared with her yet. So he said, I need you to come in. I need you to sit with me. And he talked about being addicted to painkillers. He talked about the mental anguish of coming home after losing so many people he loved in battle. He talked about the real emotions of coming home and not wanting to be alive anymore and wanting to leave his family because he thought they'd be better without him. So, and this is the kind of things you hear at Summit. I'm serious. Like, these people that you've met online that you love, and they're sharing these intimate details about your life, and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought you had it all together, and finding out they're going through all these struggles. But they're making life happen still. But you can struggle, and you can go through crap, and you can still show up every day to build your business and to inspire other people, and then let God's timing work out so that when it's time to share that ugly part of your life, you're ready. But she's bawling. So here was the thing that got me, is what she said next. She said, there are a lot of people who had watched on the sidelines and knew something was going on, including the people from the company, the people from corporate, the people that she's been with for years in this business. And they all took the time to share this story, like on their own news feeds and their own personal pages, including the CEO, including all the vice presidents of the company, because they were like, this is real. These are the families that represent Beachbody. We're not just all about health and fitness We're about the people and the lives that we get to touch and inspire. And so Beachbody, they give back to the Wounded Warriors Project. That's part of what he's talking about. Like, this is our mission, people. This is exactly what we're talking about. Real lives. And she said something. She says, if I wasn't all in already, I'm all in. I will be a Beachbody coach until I die. Because if a company can stand behind their coaches and the people who represent them like that on a more intimate level, I'm in. And so it's not just about health and fitness. And that's what I wanted to get to, you guys. This is about relationships. This is about partnering with people, setting big goals, and now finding someone to run with you. This team will run with you. This team is all here for you 24/7, 100%. But I don't feel like it's every person's job to come to you and drag you into the arena. You've got to decide that you're going to use all this information and that you're going to show up every day, and you are going to reach out. You're going to come to others and say, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I want to do. I'm telling you what I want. Now, I'm happy to run with whomever comes to me and says that. But I am not going to come to you and beg you to believe in this business, this company, this team, because it is up to you, because it's your business, but we are one larger team. So a couple of other things I just wanted to share that really made a difference. I'm sure you've seen this, because I know a couple coaches have shared this on Instagram and their walls, because this quote was awesome. It's from F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love The Great Gatsby. Love it. For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over. That was really cool, because right there, that's giving you permission to kind of fall flat on your face and get up and start over. Right? Not that you needed permission from a dead author, but it's really cool to have a quote that kind of slaps you in the face and says, FYI, it's never too late to start over. And if you're not living the life that you want to, guess what? You get to start again. You get to recreate yourself. There's no one telling you have to be that person forever. You can do exactly what you want to do in life. So the last thing I wanted to share. Oh, and then Shaun T spoke, and he sat right in front of me, and it was so sweet. And I took an awesome picture. I'll show it to you. Wait for it. I took a lot of awesome pictures. I mean, the man was in my lap. Hello. Hi, Shaun T. I was like, you look good. I'm going to take a picture. Wait, hold on. And then he's right there. And then that's the video. And then he's being funny. And trust and believe. So go to Summit to see stuff like that. All right. So last thing was from Melanie. Okay, two things. This is something that really spoke to me as a newer coach, was the whole phrase, why not you? Well, why not you? Well, why not me? Well, why not anybody? I mean, if one person can achieve something great, then why can't I? There's no one saying you can't do anything, which goes back to the previous quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald. But here's the thing. If you have confidence, and that's kind of hard because that has to come through over time, right? Has to come from failing and growing. If you have confidence in what you're doing every day in your relationships, your priorities, in your behaviors and your attitudes, confidence, that's a huge gift. If you know that you're showing up for those things in your life, then why not you? Why are you doubting yourself? If you're doing the really important things for you and you're actually sharing those things with others, you can have confidence that you're doing the right things. You can have confidence that you are setting goals that you know you're going to achieve by hitting certain steps, by hitting certain benchmarks. So stop doubting yourself, work hard, and make it happen. And if you overcomplicate this whole coaching thing, you miss out on that simple thing. Why not you? Keep having conversations. Keep reaching out. I did something really bold today. You ready? I had so many people ask about Country Heat in the last couple weeks. And so we've been having conversations back and forth, and it's been very tiring. And, you're just like, good Lord, the 5-step process, here we go. And everyone sees the message and they don't respond. And so I could either keep bugging them and keep saying, hey guys, we're coming up on the last day to order and we're going to start on the 15th. But today I messaged everybody and I said, hey, you came to me because you were ready to get started and you had some questions and you said, I'm in. And so if I'm bugging you, let me know, because I have other people to help. But you just let me know, because I know you're seeing my messages and I just feel really badly about bothering you. You want to know how many people have responded now? A lot. Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been busy. And I was like, it's just common courtesy. And sometimes you have to call people out and say, hey, by the way, I know you saw my message, but you reached out to me. And I did you the courtesy of responding to you immediately. And you even said, thanks for your quick response. And then you haven't responded to me in like a week. And that's kind of rude. So sometimes calling people out on their rude behavior in love is okay. And every single one of them that has responded is like, yeah, I'm totally in. I'm so sorry with soccer. And I was like, oh my gosh, girl, I totally get it. We have soccer and track and we're busy too. Don't worry about it. But thank you so much for your response. I will continue to keep you on the list for the group. But then there was some who were like, nope, just not for me. I was like, I really appreciate responding. That opens up a spot for somebody else. Thank you. I'm not going to close that down. I'm going to keep that communication open and just say, hey, you know what? I get it. Maybe not now's not the right timing. Let me know, and when it is, and I'll still be here. But you've got to keep that conversation going, and don't let people treat you how you do not want to be treated. And that was something that it's okay to do. Someone can get ticked off, and I actually had someone say, I'm so sorry I upset you. I was like, you didn't upset me. I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time or yours, and I'm not bugging you. I'm trying to do the right thing. And they're like, oh yeah, totally. No, I'm just busy. Okay, great. Well, the deadline's Friday. So there you go. All right. Last thing. And then I have a couple of announcements. Okay. Always confront the brutal facts of reality and be willing to change and adapt. So that's the whole thing. If you can be whomever you want to be, you don't have to, like, just because something happened to you and you think you have to stop there and you can't change. You can always change. You can always take a left turn, a right turn, a detour, whatever. You can always keep going after the dreams and goals that you have. Doesn't matter. Just be willing to adapt and change. Like reaching out to someone about, hold up a mirror to me. Let me see where I can change and where I can grow. That's not going to be fun. I know that. It's never fun to allow someone to critique you or to give constructive criticism. But I'm ready. I know it's going to hurt, but I would rather go through that than go through what am I doing wrong? The unanswered questions. So maybe that's something that you might need to do in the future. And I hope that by me going through this, it gives you the confidence to go through something hard and not fun later. Now, something that we always do as a team is when a new program comes out, we do a test group. And so ours is starting August 15th. So if you have people who are interested in Country Heat, it's always so much more fun to do it as a big group because you have way more interaction. And that kind of goes back to when you branch off with your team and you do only things and post on only your page and don't give back to the larger team, your 7 people on your team are the only 7 who are talking. And if those 7 people aren't chatty, then you have no interaction on your page. You have way more chances for interaction on a larger team. And I don't want to hear the excuse that my comment gets lost. That's baloney. I know of teams who have 50,000 people on them and still have a large team page. We have 2,000. And they're not all active. So you're missing out on a great resource by not using the team page and thinking that it'd be better to branch off and do your small page with your 5 people. No, sorry. Just my opinion, but I'm just saying that's when things start to wither and die. And if you do notice, a lot of teams that branch off and do their own thing, they're stagnant. They haven't grown past a certain point in a very long time. They're not having the energy and the lifeblood of the larger team. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, and that is from exceptional leaders and people who just have the right people on their team. But I've seen a lot and see that when coaches break off too early and think, I got this, and I don't need to contribute back to the larger team, their team goes nowhere. Because then it's all on you. If I branched off by myself with 4 people, then it's all on me to give all the content to my newer coaches. Why would you do that? Why would you reinvent the wheel when it's already been invented for you? So, might ruffle some feathers with that one, but I don't really care. So, August 15th is our test group, and we'll get started doing the whole country heat program together. Prep week will start Monday, the 8th. And so I'll share the link with you on that. But in moving forward from Summit, now what? That's the whole thing. And I hope that you guys are going to the event with Josh Coates. It's today. He is doing a Summit wrap-up, and now what? And he was there, and he just has great insight, and I posted the free event for everybody to share on their teams. Go to that. He's going to say something completely different than what I am, I'm sure. But my thing is, don't waste this momentum. Don't waste the energy. I don't care if you were there or not. Looking at our team page, our volume is way up this week. The way to maximize your volume is to grow in rank. That is good business. Okay? So to take it one more level with you guys and talk about something more than just the relationship side. If you stay at Emerald forever, you're missing out on a great opportunity. This team is going to continue to grow whether you personally do or not. It doesn't make any sense for you to stay in the same place not growing, especially if your goals are to earn an additional income, replace an income, send kids to college, save, go on vacation. If those are your goals, then you better have your butt in gear and be growing and inviting and sharing and building a team. Period. Because there is absolutely no way that you're just going to sit there as a coach when all this volume is being created underneath you and be able to benefit from that. That is the part of we work together, and together we're stronger. The team is going to grow whether you do or not. So why won't you grow? Why wouldn't you? Now, that means when you get to Diamond, that is the highest cycle bonus that you will ever be paid. $18 per cycle. If you need information about cycle bonus, ask your upline, but there are videos on YouTube. Just go to what is team cycle bonus, it'll give you a video, amazing, the back office, all that stuff. You have all the resources. We've posted this stuff time and time again. It's in our new coach training, everything. Why would you not want to get the maximum cycle bonus? I don't know. Why would you not want to maintain that and that be your minimum and then grow upon that? I don't know. Because if I knew that I had missed out on something that I could have changed, I'd be like, dang it. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I take advantage of that? It just requires just a little bit more work on my part. So, in moving forward, man, I get sidetracked. In moving forward from Summit, I have actually, here is my sparkly notebook. So I have all the names of people I'm talking to right now for coaching and challenge groups, and it continues on the back. I have a list of things that I want to tackle. I also have written down my goals. I've written down videos that I need to make, things that I need to consider, ideas that I have for growth on our team. I have those in my phone. I have them on a notepad. I just have to maybe be spontaneous and make those videos. They don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have makeup on. Do it when you feel it. Be raw. I'm telling you, people relate with real and raw. They don't want to see you all dolled up, because if you're trying to reach the mom with 2 kids who are running you ragged, or 5 kids, or 6 kids, they don't want to see that you had time to do your face, because they're like, well, dang, I can't do that. I don't have time to potty sometimes without a kid trying to break into the bathroom. I'm fine now. Like my 12 and 15-year-old aren't trying to come to the bathroom. But they want to talk to me. Only when I'm busy. And I'm just like, dang. Like Taylor came in right as I was starting the video, and I was like, really? I told you we needed to be home because I had a call at 11:30. And she comes in my room. She's like, oh, yeah. So anyway, I've written down my goals, my personal goals, but my team goals, people that I want to reach out to. I want all of my coaches to give me their goals. I want them to get real and get raw and give me their goals and a date. I want to find out, where do you want to go, because I want to support you in that. I don't want to miss that with anybody. And I want you to feel free to come to me and give me a list so that when I go back to our conversation on Facebook or text, I can be like, oh, there it is. And I'm going to have a database of, here are Carrie's goals. Here are Jen's goals. Here are Twyla's goals. Here's Carrie's. And I'm picking out my person, like Cammie, Jen, and I can't see the other people on the call. I'm going to pick out the people that have given me their goals, and I'm going to check in with them. If you don't have the time to give me your goals, then I don't know what they are. And if I just check in with you, then I'm just blowing smoke. Hey, how you doing? You know, it's lame. I want to be specific in our conversations, because the second half of the year, I'm telling you, this is when I became a coach. Joined a teen cup and just kept going. Just kept talking to people, just kept inviting, just kept investing in people. And I know what can happen in a short amount of time when you just show up, because I've lived it and I've done it and I've seen other people do it. And I don't want you guys to get to any point or any obstacle where you think, oh, well, that was fun. You know, now I'm done. I've hit a wall. Move that dang wall. Bust it down. Go around it. Go over it. I don't care. Obstacles are just there to sharpen our character. So I want you guys to make a list of your goals. And I don't mean fluff. No fluff. I want you to get deep and get real, and it really has to mean something, because if a goal doesn't scare you, then what's the point? You need to go after something that's really going to mean something big for you guys. It has to scare the crap out of you. And that's all there is to it. If not, it's not big enough. And then invest in your coaches. Reach out to them and find out their goals. I have a big goal for my second business center. And so guess who I'm reaching out to? All those coaches. All of them. To find out if they're on board. If they're not, great. But if they are, guess who I am going to just love on and help them. So I don't want to waste time with people who don't want to grow. You know, still love them as people, but the others will get special attention. And it's okay in a business to do that. It's okay. So, and then, yeah, don't be scared to get a little crazy and get a little bold and share where you want to go. That was something that somebody said. They stopped sharing where they wanted to go with the masses. Like, why are you a coach? You know, people are going to your page and maybe they're going, hey, this chick works out a lot. She's got this Shakeology cup. What the heck is this? But if you're sharing, this is why I'm a coach. This is what I want to accomplish with it. This is what I want to get out of it. And this is where I am going to go. People are going to pay attention. Because if you say, my goal with this is to, people are going to be like, wow, that's a really crazy goal. And she thinks she can do it. That's awesome. And then you show them. And then they go, I want to be with her. I want to do what she's doing. So don't be scared to maybe share your goals in a kind of a funky little way that let people know that you're not just doing this because you like to jump around in spandex or have cute workout t-shirts with inspiring sayings. It's because there's more to it. There's a lot more to it. And it changes lives. I'm leaving you with this. In the celebration video, that evening really, I mean, you get to see the top coach and the top 10, but I am so glad that they made the evening so much more about the challenge winners. I felt like they did. That is Beachbody. Being emotional. What the heck? I swear, one day I'm going to get through one call without crying. But then that would be boring, right? Then you'd be like, oh, she's dead. That is what inspires me. Because those people went through hell and back to change their lives. And then look at them. I have to say, for everybody in the audience who wasn't a believer, that was pretty cool. Because both of the winners stood up and said, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Hello. In the Titan Arena, on stage. That was cool, I have to say. So, really awesome to see how much weight they lost, but not just from their body, but from their heart, from their whole being. Stress gone, just amazing to see their stories unfold. But every single story was just inspiring, from the grandma who now is a marathon runner, and she goes and her kids want to run with her. Grandma. I would love for my mom to have that kind of energy. Maybe there's someone in your life that you think of when you see those stories. And it was really cool. So I want you to see that when we go back to those things and you hear those stories, because that should be the thing that you remember as a coach, is watching those people have not only the relationship with their coach to believe in themselves enough to continue even on the hard days, but then to live the life that they've wanted to live for so long, and they just needed a little guidance. Helping people understand that it's not hard if you have a plan is really difficult, because they have it in their mind that there's no way that they will ever be able to change. Because maybe they felt so tired for so long, or they've lived with the weight for so long, or they've dealt with negativity for so long, that to have someone like you come along and tell them, I believe in you, is something they may have never experienced. And so you've got to break down walls, and that's where that relationship comes in. So it's super important, and we go back to the beginning. Summit was about relationships. Summit was about depth. Summit was about connecting with people. And I want you to remember that moving forward in everything that you do today and next week, as you're listening to Josh Coates and everything. Summit, what is your summit, is about relationships with the people on your team, with the people you're going to meet, with your challengers, with everybody. And so taking the time to deepen those is only going to help you grow stronger and help them stay with you longer. So do you guys have anything to share? I will allow you, because I'm such a freak micromanager. Apparently that's a problem I have. Nobody told me that. I decided that on my own. If you guys, I will allow you to unmute yourself if you have just a couple minutes, because my dog was neutered today and they just told me he's ready. So I've got to go get my love bug, my Artie bear. He has no balls. I said that. So does anyone else have anything to share from Summit, or a comment or question? It's 12:20. I just want to make sure I respect your time. You can unmute yourself. No. Oops, someone unmuted because I hear static. Oh, I see Melissa's mouth moving, but I don't hear you. Maybe turn the
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Gotta hit the right button. I just said thank you. Thank you for the call. We really, speak for myself, but I really needed it.
Really? Because I feel like a sweaty mess and I'm blabbering.
Well, you see me. No makeup. I love that.
Never! People were laughing. They're like, wow, you looked so pretty last week. And I was like, oh my gosh, I must look like a troll.
Natural.
It's fun to get dressed up, but then that's not real life, right? Twyla, your daughter's behind you, so pretty. So anybody else? Comments, questions? Hey, Audrey.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to, it was my first summit, and it was really, really wonderful, and I had all kinds of wonderful moments. And one of the big takeaways, just real quick, was really getting over the fear that I was too old, like I missed the boat. I should have done this 10 years ago. And there, with all the different ages, was like the weight came off, and said, you know what, there are people that I can really, really meet and impact and just lead by sharing. So I've got to always be learning, so I have something to share, you know? And I love that. Thing I want to say was when Sean shared his testimony, it really impacted me, because he was so raw and honest. But I walked away and I had to write. I just, I had that moment where you just have to write. I'm like, oh, I got to get this out of me. I have to be willing to allow success in. You have to allow joy in, you have to allow love in. And in order to do that, you have to give something up. It does cost you. And I really learned from his testimony, it costs giving up a belief about yourself. And really did deep. And my biggest one I share was just feeling like you came from junk. I don't know what other people's are, but it was in there. And you have to be willing to give up. It cost a belief about you in order to let something new in.
Wow.
I just wanted to share that today.
No, that's really powerful, and definitely I'll share some. He shared his abuse, which was very raw, and I was at first very uncomfortable, and then I thought, and this is important because this is a part of his story that was not just the abuse, but he takes it further, and it was a little shocking what he said, and he talked about truth and trust, and it was really amazing. But yeah, I wrote the video, or the voice clip I made, Audrey, after that coming home, was about the truth. Focus on what is good and what is right and what is lovely. And that's something from the Bible, truth. What is true, what is right, what is noble, what is lovely. When you let all those other voices in, they muddle what's true. And we have such a hard time focusing on the truth because we allow maybe the ugly end, or the opinions, or the negativity, or our own doubts and fears, and we miss the truth. We miss what is true. We don't trust it. And so I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up. How old are you?
I'm 52.
No, you're not. You look amazing. What in the world? That is impossible.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. I'm shocked right now.
Well, I've really been having that's what's made me not all in. And I exposed that I wasn't all in because I just felt like, these girls, they're young, there's just so much life ahead of them. And, and being at Summit was awesome because it was like, oh, wow, this is great. Okay.
All different walks of life, and I love that when people say, but I don't have a beach body, and I'm like, beach body is every race, size, shape, weight. Does not matter. Doesn't matter at all. So I do love that. I love that you got to see that.
Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Anyone else? 3 more minutes and then we'll cut it off. No. Well, I'm going to get those links for you guys. I'll have the recording once it's uploaded, and then I'll share as many of the product releases and the recordings as I can. But go to Team Beachbody on YouTube and look in your back office for those recordings. And, okay, I'll see you guys later. Set big goals. Okay, bye.